Hello.
Joel.
All right, so we have you on here today. I've got it mapped out as the Sigma grind set.
That was not a title I agreed to, but it is true. That is what it says on the chart. My suggestion was, we're both 29. We've lived a good amount of life, found some level of success in what we do. Maybe we just answer questions. Maybe people are curious about content creation or just attempting to be a real adult, something we both are admittedly always working on.
Ruggles looks a lot younger than Farfa. Chat, listen, come on. I think going to the gym and looking like a statue sort of maybe assists with that. Okay, come on. So we're gonna do a little segment talking about our lives and how we're reasonably okay at the things that we've done and where we are at. So I believe you have some questions that you asked for on Twitter that maybe you want to get started on.
The first one comes from small streamer. You may have heard of him. Distant Coder. He asks a question which I think is very much directed towards you. What are your future plans for your career as a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player? Nadir, you've topped a Nats now. What's next, buddy?
Honestly, I find the modern TCG game too frustrating. I dip in and out of Yu-Gi-Oh competitively very often. I'll play a couple of meme decks and try like make BA work every few formats, but I honestly don't have any plans to get better at the competitive. Just too much of a frustrating experience for me. I can't stand floodgates. I can't stand some of the interactions that people come with that essentially completely lock you out of the game. And it's just boring to me. It's just not an enjoyable experience. So, but in terms of content creation, I mean, just keep making every video better than the last, right? Get those sub numbers up and yeah. What about you?
What about the guy with the credentials of won a couple unofficial locals? For me, I think Yu-Gi-Oh has always been something that's just fun, something I appreciate from a social standpoint. I love having that conduit and that excuse to go out and see a myriad of people every week. Right? As you get older, that gets harder. But to me, it always needs to be something fun. And I don't want to overcommit to it to the point where it's like my life or career. That said, still would like to play the game. Going to YCS Niagara, I think that'll be fun. It's really just where passion brings me. Because I feel like I'm one of those people who has a million different interests. And to hyper focus on one is to neglect the others. And I just don't know that Yu-Gi-Oh will ever be that hyper focus. You have to hyper focus to be really good at the game. Like there's so much to connect with on an individual like card basis. I joked about it in my first vlog back, but like cards like DD Crow or Ghost Bell might be great last format, but if you don't know what to hit because you haven't done the research, you haven't put the time in, you haven't done the testing, it doesn't fucking matter. Like just play Floodgates. And I think the game is a lot more fun when you can play with those more niche interactions.
Yeah, I agree for sure. In terms of content creation though, which way are you headed?
I'm making whatever I feel like. I think we make decisions in life based off of business, our relationships, our general happiness, and often there's a compromise within the three. Like there are so many content creators in the Yu-Gi-Oh space who I know want to do more variety, but it's their job, so they can't. And it's kind of this slow idea transition. Maybe they start something else. Where I feel like I'm kind of in this very unique space where my job and what I do is the painting channel. It's completely different. When I moved here, I decided everything I do with the card channel, the vlog channel, whatever you want to call it, is going to just be out of passion. It is what I'm inspired to make. It is what I love making, and I'm just not going to compromise on getting that enjoyment through that creative creation like I may have in the past. So if I'm really inspired to go out and play a locals or go to YCS Niagara or do something like that, it'll be in the vlog. If I'm not feeling it that week, I'm not going to force myself or pressure myself. And I think that's really, really important because often our hobbies can become something that we don't love anymore because we put too much pressure on it, or we allow the pressure from external sources on us to hinder our love for it, to make it into a job. And avoiding that is just, I think, very paramount. Again, going to Toronto with the channel, it was, I'm going to make exactly what I want. And if that resonates with people, that's amazing. If it doesn't, that's unfortunate, but I'm not compromising. Welcome to my TED Talk.
That's extremely insightful.
You noted that you didn't love the game right now because of the variants, things like floodgates, all of that. Fun question. Since no one loves floodgates, what is your favorite floodgate? Matthew. Mine is Darklaw and Plasma. I've been playing the same deck for 3 years, and I like summoning my... Wait, what do you say? It's Bat Chest. I heckin' love heroes. It's like that, right? Yeah, I know the memes.
That I heckin' love heroes. Oh my god, Jade and Yuki fusion summoning. Yeah, I mean, all floodgates are bad for the game. I hate them, etc., etc. It's kind of weird, but one floodgate I like, quote unquote, is anti-spell fragrance. I feel like, depending on the deck, it doesn't completely lock you out. It just slows you down, right? And I like interacting with the set cards. Because if I'm playing a slow deck and I anti-spell my opponent, I like knowing that those set cards are not going to be useful right now. But if I let them stay there till next turn, they're going to be a problem. I don't think it's good gameplay, but if I had to and was forced to pick a fun Floodgate, then the one I like playing with is anti-spell.
Okay, we're going with the classic. I flip purple cards. I like that. Next one is from JJPM. What do you think is necessary to be successful in YouTube or Yu-Gi-Oh content creation?
In general, I think like if you are interested in starting out or something, having something is important. You don't need to upload daily. You don't need to like have a crazy important schedule, but having something special and unique is really important. You are the best example of someone who broke into the community. You had no advantage coming in here. You had no name for yourself in the community. Nobody knows who you are. You didn't have like some crazy networking or someone to like promote you. You did it all off of your own talent and you made something really unique and special. And that was like beautiful high production vlog videos and the returning to Yu-Gi-Oh thing, right? And everyone fell in love with it. And then so much so that even the company itself, Konami, are like wanting you to make content for them. You don't need like thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment, but what you do need is something unique and special.
I think you nailed it. I think that is exactly it. And I think it's like that in pretty much anything in life. Like if you can get extremely good at something and then learn how to market that, you can do whatever you want. Genuinely, you can break into any space. Also, you were giving me a lot of praise for making something and then just kind of exploding. Friendly reminder to everybody watching, my channel is where it is because this guy, there's a Joel enthusiast, watched 2 of my vlogs and he tweeted about it and he watched them on stream, and then all of the other YouTubers did the same thing, but it was a Mr. Nadir who started it.
That momentum needs to be kept, right? There's been plenty of content creators and stuff like that who I've reacted to on stream and I've promoted and tweeted about their video and they're gone now, right? But you maintain that momentum. Unless the content keeps staying good, you know, you've done that yourself and you've achieved that through your own success and your own talents.
To a point. I'm a big believer in you need to be very good at things and then you need to get a little bit lucky. Like it's always a combination. It's when luck strikes, as it did with you, you have to be ready for it. The more people realize that, the healthier relationship they have with content creation and business in general. Because you can be doing everything right, but for whatever reason, like the stars might not just be aligning for your success at that time. And it's one of those things where timing is important, but having that content there and ready also is. So it's a combination.
I'm gonna be honest, I personally just disagree. I think you need something special. You need a good product.
Oh, you do. You do.
And
but that's what I'm saying. Like you could have that, but if the right people don't see it, if you don't get lucky within an algorithm, like you can make the best content in the world, but it doesn't really matter until people start seeing it, right? And that can happen through something like luck, or it can happen through just posting like every day, forcing that luck to happen, which is also something that's real. Someone I actually look to all the time as an example of like making great YouTube content in like a vertical that you wouldn't expect is Austin, DB Grinder, right? His content isn't unique, but he's extremely good at doing what he does. If you want to sit down and experience gameplay, doing it through him is arguably like the best experience. He just did that time after time after time for years until his channel took off. But like he had, I think, a great product. He had to force it into existence. And it was one of those things where like you could get lucky or you can force it. And I think he's a great example of just forcing it. Another vertical that I think is important to note is I film with a bunch of different DSLRs and lenses. And, you know, you and I both have these big computers. You don't need that. Like, again, Austin is always a great example of you can have a shitty fucking webcam and do it really, really well. That can work too. You don't need to spend $10,000 on equipment to just get started. You just have to be really, really good at something. And sometimes that thing doesn't require a great deal of monetary value.
There's plenty of examples, right? Like XQC, Tyler One, like these people literally just have like camera in the corner, audio, and the desktop screen. And that's it. That's their content. But they're really good at like entertaining and playing their games and stuff, and that's what matters. Like listening to Tyler One will actually just make your ears bleed, but it's funny and he's good at the game he plays. There is a balance. I think people should obviously try and put effort into their setups and all that kind of stuff, but At the core of it, I think you need something that people will want to watch and come back to.
If you want to do something, consider other platforms as well as a way to start and build an audience. Think about like Dual Daddy. He didn't start by making YouTube videos or Twitch, but he has a following and a good one. And people who I think genuinely care about him as a person now. And you can begin that way. And then should you want to create content in long form, then that's something you can do. But I think keeping that in mind is important. And like, just for like added context, you know, from the vlogs, I've been going on a bunch of dates lately. Ended up oddly dating like so many women in marketing, and all of them are like, make TikTok videos. Just make TikTok videos. All of them pulling out their phones, showing me like the algorithms, like it's the future. I want to stress to everybody out there, like if you want to make content and just like grow a following, I genuinely think TikTok is the way. And then like you transition it as you should, because you should always transition your audiences if you want to make it a living, because if a social media platform goes down, what are you gonna do?
Secondary and tertiary avenues of promotion is so important, I feel. My Twitch channel, I feel like had like a decent base to start from because I started on YouTube, right? So when I first hit that live, go live button, I would have like 20, 30 people like watching, right? Which isn't like incredible, but there's people present. I'm not like talking into like the literal void, which a lot of people sadly do. Like they have like one viewer maybe, and it's like some algorithm or bot probably passing through. And then it's like, well, how did I grow my Twitch? I feel like a lot of it is kind of what you suggested earlier. It's like I forced it, right? I streamed every day, and I would like consistently just come back, just hit that go live button, just go live. And I would like have this really slow incremental growth. But then as I start promoting it more on YouTube and doing highlights and stuff like that, it starts coming together. And I think now if I look at, for example, my average viewers, it's like over 2,000 for the last 2 or 3 months. And it's like, okay, well, I think a lot of that comes to daily YouTube uploads. Shout outs to my editors. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. TikTok, tweeting often, like so many different avenues that people just don't use. Like people on YouTube don't watch Twitch. People on Twitch like don't watch YouTube as much, but a few of them will cross over. And if you bring them together onto your platform, like I feel like I've done quite well with Yugioh, then it works and it helps.
Okay, next question. What tips would you give for sticking to a self-made schedule and keeping motivated?
Thank you for answering this question.
You are an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. We don't have a job. Technically, like we do what we want in the day, but that means we have to structure our days, and we have to be diligent, and we have to actively work towards getting what we want, because nobody else will force us to do that. So what are your tips for being an efficient human being and actually getting up and getting things done?
I guess I'm just old now, but what motivates me, I guess, is, I come from a pretty traditional collective idea that a lot of Middle Easterners have, and it's about like taking care of each other and your family. And so I know that as I grow older and my parents grow older,
so generous.
I'm here to like take care of my parents one day. As they raised me and took care of me, I'm going to have to return that when they can no longer take care of themselves. Yeah, what about you? What's your motivation?
Oh, first of all, that was wildly wholesome. I saw in chat when I initially asked the question, everybody was like, money? Like, is that not what motivates you to get up and do your job? For me, at least, I think we grew up kind of in a similar, parents didn't have a lot of money. We kind of had to like figure it out. Admittedly, for me, in my early 20s, a lot of my motivation was just making money, getting to the point where I didn't have to worry about it in the way that my parents did, and recognizing that if I didn't get up and actively do something every day to make that happen, it wasn't going to happen. You have to put that effort in. When I got older, it became about two things. One, parents don't have a lot of money. I know that when they retire, I really want to be able to take care of them fully. I want to get them a house. I know that like a big thing with all of the subathons and streamers, it's like, we need to get a house. And congratulations. I really want to get my parents a place by the time I'm 35. That is a really big goal of mine, and I have plans to set out to do that. Another part, I think, is about finding happiness. I feel like I talk to so many people every day who just aren't there. They're working towards it, but they're not there. And happiness is something that I think is very hard to find for our generation specifically. We're kind of the first like real generation to have full autonomy of what our lives are and what we want them to be. Prior to us, everything was so traditional, and there was like World War II, there was larger impacts of religion on the world. What you are going to do in your life, your mission, your goal was essentially told to you and preset to a large degree. Our generation, I feel like, has stepped out of that in a big way. We have opportunity because we're not going to war. We have the internet. We can make money doing whatever we want in whatever niche we want. And I think it's too much option for like the initial generation to figure out what makes them happy and what they want to do. You and I, we know this from so many content creators. Like, you jump into something because it's business and it's going to make you money and you're good at it, but then it's 5 years down the line, you're successful. Does it make you happy? And that idea of finding what makes you happy is so fucking important. And it's something that is well aided by a good amount of income. Because if you have a good amount of money, then you can take X number of days, weeks out of your month and allocate them to what you really want. You can invest in things that really will enrich your life. I know that growing up in my early 20s, I was someone who, in terms of happiness, I was never an unhappy person. I've always been pretty leveled. Like, I wake up in the day and I'm like a 7 in terms of happiness. But I know that we live those days that are the 10s. And a big motivator for me in building my businesses, making money, doing what I do, especially with like the current vlog channel, it is just finding that 10 of happiness every single day. Finding a way, finding a business, finding a motivation to wake up. Every day I want to wake up and I want to get my glass of water. I want to go on the balcony. I want to feel endorphins and be happy for where I am, what I'm doing, look at my to-do list and know that that is everything I want to do in that day. Nothing different. For me, I think that's a really big part of the motivation to get up every day. It's to get to that place. That's why I put in the work. And I feel like as now, you know, we approach 30, I feel like I'm kind of there, especially in the last like 4 months. It's one of those things that like you have to fucking work for. And like, it took me a decade. And I know that it took you a long time too. Like, you did teaching and like you were kind of trying to find your space and like you didn't like editing. So that was something that you removed from your life because you made enough money to hire editors to remove that thing that didn't make you happy. It's a bunch of little things like that that eventually accumulate to you having the life that you actually really want. This is all stuff that's like easier said than done.
Just to emphasize, like, it's so easy for people in our position to talk about this and be you know, just be happy and do the things that make you happy and do the things that give you passion. But like, he came from somewhere where that was not a privilege we were afforded, right? And
that's a conversation I feel like I've been having with a lot of people recently because, again, going on a lot of dates, like talking to new people, you hear all the time, like, I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait for Friday night. Monday's coming up. That's fucking awful. And I hate that that's such a common mentality, but it is. It shouldn't be the way things are. Different countries are playing with 4-day work weeks, which I think is really cool. I think that doing more of like an Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders economic structure would be a good way of working towards that too. But like, those are larger things that we don't necessarily have the biggest impact on, and we shouldn't rely on them to occur.
We have to focus on the things that we can control.
Yeah, exactly. And my thought is, it took you and I 10 years of working to get to where we are. 10 years is a long time. Maybe you get lucky, maybe it takes less, maybe you don't get lucky, maybe it takes more. But if you start right now and you are 25 years old, while you're doing what you're doing, this is like your side thing. By the time you're 35, you have what you want and you're happy. You're not waiting to 65. You're not waiting to 70. You're not waiting to retire to enjoy each of your days. The point is that like, you just need to start. Like, you need to figure out what that is in general that makes you genuinely so happy and then just move towards it with whatever extra time you have.
In the end, it's not about the money. It's about like, now I can focus my energy and my passions into something that does make me happy.
Exactly. There's always a way. And like, you might not have as much time as everybody else, but you have a little bit of time. And if you can take that little bit of time and act with it, with a plan, eventually you get to where you want to go. What really makes me happy at the end of the day, what I fucking love doing, is making the vlog series that I'm doing right now. Nothing fulfills me creatively to a greater degree than making that. So what did I do at 2 a.m.? I took a shower, I turned on the lights, fired up the cameras, I recorded an opening, and then at 4 a.m. I was like, okay, I've put that time, and it was only 2 hours for that thing that I fucking loved, but those 2 hours will add up. Because of that, you will have extra vlog content. Because of that, I was able to go to bed knowing that I did something that moved me towards what I really love doing. And it means that I don't get to sleep as much as I did. You know, I still got up at 8. I still got up, started working, got ready for this. And I know that not everybody can operate as well as I can under lesser sleep. Like that's very much a genetic thing. And that's something you need to be aware of. And all of the like motivational gurus and whatever is like, oh, just sleep like 4 hours a night. That's not that's not a healthy way to live your life. You need to find balance. You need to figure out however much you very specifically need to sleep and then account for that. But the point of all of this is just that I only had 2 hours yesterday, and those 2 hours could only be made from the time of 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. But I did it because I love it and because I have a vision, and I know that it is that which got me where I am with the painting channel and physically where I am here as well.
I cannot emphasize how freeing to know that I can do what I want with my day. If I want to just sleep, I can do that. If I want to get up at like 1 a.m. and just work on something, I can do that. For example, like 2 weeks ago, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to stream today. It's 27 degrees. Me and my wife, we're going to go to the beach. Some people need that from a mental health perspective, and I felt like I really needed it. It's not for everyone. Some people like structure, and I'm not criticizing anyone who works 9 to 5 or anything like that, because some people love that structure. But for me personally, my mental health like skyrocketed when I was able to just know that I had the freedom to go and do what I want when I want.
Question then from the most controversial figure in the YugiTubing community, Mr. Stevie Blunder. When it comes to yoinking and sploinking, I think that's the word, video ideas, editing styles, jokes, or seeking general inspiration, who or what do you look at for inspiration, Nadir? I know that a long time ago you were heavily inspired by grade A under A.
I was, yeah.
What do you feel like inspires modern day Farfa?
There's a lot of streamers and YouTubers I think I really enjoy and like Ludwig, like Toast, like Asmongold, like Charlie. I think it's really cool to be able to just sit and talk about something you like and people will listen to you. I don't feel like I have like a crazy fountain of knowledge or anything. It's not like I'm trying, like people don't come to my stream because I'm disseminating like crazy life advice and stuff, but I like talking about current events. I like talking about, you know, news in Yugioh. I like talking about the new thing in gaming. I like, you know, bringing up just like my general interests and passions. I like talking about that with people. And I think these creators do it so well.
I think you are, if not there, so close. You were just playing Pokemon Ruby to 2,700 people, and everybody was having a great time, myself included. That was not Yugioh. That was not the ban list. That was not... You've done an excellent job of allowing the community to get to know you to the point where it's not just, I really want to go watch Farfa's incredibly detailed, like, big brain deck profile on BA. Like, I need that content. The deck is only 8 years old. I need that new information, you know?
It's important to like try and branch out a little bit, right? And I've tried to, you know, I have like different videos on YouTube that are completely just not Yu-Gi-Oh! And they've done like really well. And I'm really happy about that. And that's kind of like what I want to try to do a little bit more of. The thought of like waking up, getting ready for stream, and then sitting down to just get max seed for 6 hours on Master Duel, like makes me want to like say something that will get me banned on Twitch. I can't do that anymore. Like, I just can't. So this subathon has really taught me like try and embrace like doing things that make me really happy. And it's like talking to you and bringing people on and doing things together and trying out other cool like fun things. Like, do you know what I mean?
It sounds like my vision for the vlog and your vision for the subathon were very similar in that do what you're passionate about, because what you are passionate about, you will do to the best of your ability, and it will probably be your best content. I appreciate that type of content, and I think you're quite good at that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I hope that's the future and not level 2 earth insect all day, every day. My guy.
Just, I can't do it anymore, man. I'm so freaking sick of it. Like, I can't. Like, my God.
Oh, do you want to do show and tell really quick? I think you and I made the same mistake, and I just want to share it with the audience. Okay?
Okay.
I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Guys, can you believe it? We're finally going to get cock reveal.
Nadir, I believe you also recently purchased a pot of prosperity.
Oh,
prosperities. Is that true?
Are these OGs, or are they what are they called?
They're the secret. You know.
Are they the tin ones? Are they out yet? I don't even know.
No. It's not from the tin. It's not from the tin. No. Okay. These were legitimately purchased before they were announced in the tin. $430. Literally just burning money, unaware.
I feel like you were the kind of guy to buy Starlights. That was the biggest shock for me when I watched your, like, when I first discovered, like, Ruggles. It was like, I watched your returning to Yu-Gi-Oh thing, and it's like, you had this little B-roll of you going on TCGPlayer, and it's just like, ulti Darklaw, ulti Strikes, and I'm just like, what is he doing? What? Bro, you're returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, chill. Like, let's get some commons first before we invest, right? Like,
gotta play our max rarity Floodgates, my guy. You better pick up those anti-spells, those CRs right now, eh?
I feel like I've had notoriously bad ones as well. Does anyone know, chat? I've definitely done some horrible ones. Ulti Fusion Destiny. Oh, that one stings.
Oh, yeah.
That one stings. Ooh, that's really bad.
Yeah. That was an expensive card, and then it wasn't at all. Warrock Mountain. Do you still have the pile?
I do, yeah. I knew these cards were not going to be money. These were like mostly for fun, right? I got like 40 copies for like £50, including postage. They've been great. Every once in a while, I'll do a giveaway for like one of them. I'll eat one. You know, I think they've more than paid for themselves in terms of content.
It's a good thing you have like investments like the access code talkers. You made money there, right? Like you were ahead of the game. You bought those for like 20.
That's like the annoying thing. So when access code talker was first released, people didn't realize how insanely staple that was. People were still like, oh yeah, Boral Swords is better because it does more damage and that's how you seal the game. But then like, oh, spell speed 4 pop, non-targeting. Huh. That's really strong. So I was really lucky. I got the first printing of access code for £21. What did access code peak at, chat? I think it was like 110 or something pre like announcement of gold. It was ridiculous money. Being able to recognize good cards and then buy them out when they're really low, I think is like a really important thing to be successful at vending. It's never been something I care about or something I want to do. I don't want to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards and sell Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it is the most monotonous, tedious thing ever. Even just opening a box on stream for fun was like, I feel like it just drags on sometimes, you know? So shout outs to our sponsor for the stream, Now We're Nevin Cards. Check out his card market. Imagine like sitting here like with like mountains of like planet destroying plastic that you have to go through and open to then like go on eBay and list like these little like 10-cent commons and shit. Like, oh my god, I think I'd rather play Master Duel for 6 hours.
Mario and I opened a case of Ghosts from the Past together, and the entire time I was just like, there's so much garbage recycle. Like there has to be a better way to like put these, what was it, 20 cards together and distribute them in a way that's like a little more eco-friendly.
Do you have blister packs in Canada, or is that a US thing only?
We do have blister packs in Canada. Yes, you can open cardboard and plastic to open plastic to get your cardboard.
It is unreal how that is like legal to me. Like, so for any Europeans here, actually might just straight up not know this, but in America, you can buy a singular pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, a singular pack, and they are packaged in cardboard with plastic covering them. It is unreal. One pack. It's they hate the planet. Like, what? You know what I think has like a lot of potential, and if like, you know, if I try and make myself a little more business savvy or something, I would love to like try and invest money in research into sustainable card sleeve. So, someone's probably going to steal this from me. I think there's a lot of like conscientious Yu-Gi-Oh players who like, you know, are pretty woke in that way and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people would buy them if they could be good. The problem is like card sleeves, like plastic is just the perfect material. Like how do you make like card sleeves, right? Do you have to make them washable or something? Maybe I'll do some market research into that and make some Farfa branded sustainable green sleeves.
I feel like there has to be a solution, but you're 100% right. And if I knew that what I was buying was more sustainable, I would 100% do that, especially with how frequently we go through sleeves. And like, they wouldn't even have to be washable. Like they could be disposable, but as long as they were organically disposable, that is something that I know I would personally appreciate about doing that. I just launched a brush line, and it was a collaboration with another company, but what they led with in the email for the collaboration was it's entirely vegan and cruelty-free, which is something that you might think like their brushes. Are they not all vegan and cruelty-free? But no, they're made with different types of hair. The glue is made with different types of fats from animals. There's a lot there. And just by the fact that they led with that, like, and the fact that it lined up with how I felt kind of ethically, I was like, yes, I will work with this product. I will buy this product. I will engage with it. And I love the idea of bringing that into Yu-Gi-Oh to an extent.
Yeah, that's something I would love to look into and try and do, but we'll see. This has been an absolute pleasure. I think you brought up some really insightful, important things, both about career, but also about ethics and morals and human values, right? So it's You are just the most like wholesome person to exist.
That's incredibly thoughtful. Again, your answer about doing what you do for your parents just opened my heart up, and I appreciate that, and I love that the rest of the chat got to experience that with us. So thank you for having me on. Thank you for essentially giving me a career within the Yu-Gi-Oh space. Chat, thank you for spamming GigaChat and Joel for the entirety of the time that I was here. I think that was a lot of fun.
Just a really serious like talk and discussion, heartfelt, you know, talks with each other, and then there's just like a really fast spinning gif of a fish, like appropriateness, chat. Good job, thank you.
It was very enjoyable though. Anyway, you have an amazing subathon, and thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to catch up.